Okay, how we doing? Quick question. Is religion really the problem of Africa? I've seen this so many places. I've seen people talk about this. I've seen it being blamed. I've been thinking, I've gotten my mind wrapped around for years. While I believed it to an extent, at some point I agreed with it because I saw what, people in a position of leadership with religious, authority play with the minds of people. I've seen all of that. But I've come down to actually do some reading, some thinking, some meditation, and I'm beginning to really ask myself if religion is really the problem of Africa. And I know why I said Africa, because the conversation why I'm bringing this up here is because it has been tagged as one of the biggest problems, if not the problem of Africa. Now, I'm going to ask this question again. Is religion really the problem of Africa? Or is it a problem in Africa? Now, my submission today does not in any way invalidate any other person's, conviction or how you've seen it. It does not invalidate it. This is just me asking a question, and we can always have this conversation in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Like put your own comments down in the comment section. Let's talk about it, and I will respond. And let's have some, thinking minds put this together. But here is my submission, and this comes from after a while of looking through, digging into some conversations. Africa as a continent, one of the things, and when we began to see it into conversations, mind you, from my own position, the part of from when I began to really dig into Africa was, all the way back into Egypt. And I noticed that one of the biggest things Egypt did was slavery. The Jews were not the first people Israel took into slavery. So let's even leave that portion. Let's fast forward to a little bit more modern day. And I went to read some of the accounts of the likes of David Livingstone. So he goes into Africa, begins to see places that already existed. One of the things he took back to the church who sent him was, I've seen a people very strong, but I've noticed that they are very good at selling their own people. There was something called internal slavery going on in Africa way before the Caucasians ever came in. So we were selling our people at different levels to pay back loans for different reasons. We were already putting our own people into slavery to our own people. Now, the big thing that brought David Livingstone eventually to pitch a tent in Africa for a while was to abolish that internal trade. And then what did he also do? He brought in schools through the church. Now, I've tried to watch. Question would be, what is religion? And I juxtaposed it with religion/consecration thereabout. I realized that religion is just a practice. It comes by something you believe and the things that are involved in that belief. Now, I am a Christian. There are particular things that come with being a Christian. There are things I cannot afford to do because I'm a Christian. So if there is a religion called Christianity, I belong there. And for that reason, I have to abide by the things that come into that religion. Now, that being said, this same Christianity in Europe, mind you, Rome colonized Britain. Let's go back to most of the biggest countries we're talking about. A chunk of the world was colonized by the church. When Rome came to Britannia, they were mostly Saxons. These people worshipped idol. Religion came through colonialism, but Britain used their religion well when the likes of John and Charles Wesley broke into a level of Protestantism and drove kingdom into development inside of Britain. Like, I'm trying to understand how. So again, this is me. My conversation might not really tally well with a lot of people. That's why I'm asking that we have a very proper conversation. You can put your comments down there, and I'll do well to read them. I promise you, this is not to debunk another person's, historic ability. I am of the strong conviction that Africa is the problem of Africa. Religion, particularly Christianity, and whenever people say religion is killing Africa, undertone is Christianity, really. And then you have, the brother to Christianity down in that place. Now, I've realized the same Islamism that is practiced in some of the nations that have taken them extreme. So compare Islamism in a place like Iran or Iran, and compare Islamism in an extreme place like Nigeria and some of the other places. Now take that same Islamism to Qatar and to the UAE. And you can go to both these two countries and visit them and realize that, are you sure something is not wrong? So is it the religion that is wrong, or is it the people? My humble opinion, I've seen Christianity bring schools, missionaries carry schools, bring hospitals, speak truth to power, cause changes, intercede for nations until something breaks out and that nation becomes extraordinary. I have seen what the power of men who have given themselves to the cause of what their religion gives to bring national and and societal change positively. I've seen it. What that means is that it is possible. So religion is not necessarily the problem. It is people. It is people. Particularly when you come to Africa. Look, I've had opportunities. I've lived a bunch of my life, in my own home country. And I can tell you this, with or without a religion, the average African is not necessarily wired to think more than themselves. That's one of the things I've noticed. And no nation really will push forward until the majority begin to think way more than themselves. So we can blame slavery, we can blame all of that. We can blame so many things that could have been the reason. Is there a problem with the practice of extremism in whether Islamism or Christianity or anything in anywhere of the world? Yes, there is. But the fact that that same religion, that same practice has also recorded a huge change in the society, maybe that practice is not the problem, it is the people practicing it. Yeah. So again, this is just my own opinion. I've thought about this and I really realized that and I'm trying to bring it down to Africa, until the average African begins to see themselves as a little bit better, like we can get this done. It is possible. It is doable. We're more than just what we can eat and drink. It is way more than what I can see to hand down to my children. If I'm not seeing myself as something, if I can't place myself in a position where the reason why I'm here is to cause a change to my environment, not just for me or my children, anything will sway you. Wind of doctrine, anywhere it goes, it will follow. Last but not the least, this one goes to those who are believers. Know Christ. My God, know Christ, particularly for yourself. Know Him. If you study Jesus Christ, which is the author of Christianity, if you actually study Him for yourself and want to be like Him, we will do more of dominion changing than trying to just be good people. Because the life of Jesus is very straightforward. There's no complication. That being said, I strongly believe that religion may not be the problem of Africa. Africa is the problem of Africa. Thank you.